Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 2 preview between the Atlanta Falcons and the St. Louis Rams. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Rams.
The Rams are a tough matchup offensively because of their ability to space you out. They widen out your defense and they force you to decide whether or not you want to dedicate that extra defender in the box or in coverage. Now versus the Falcons, I look at the passing game being a major key to success. Being able to expand the Falcons' coverage area should allow Sam Bradford room to drive the football downfield. Now defensively, they are technically sound up front with two excellent bookends in Chris Long and Robert Quinn. And you look at defensive coordinator Tim Walton, he trusts his linebackers in coverage enough to leave them on the field. And I look at this matchup versus Atlanta being a good barometer of where they are defensively. They were able to get Carson Palmer on the ground 4 times last week, and they're going to need that type of effort this week versus Matt Ryan and that Falcons offense. Now let's move over to Atlanta in this ballgame. The Falcons played well enough to win last week versus New Orleans despite missing Asante Samuel in the secondary and Roddy White not at 100%. That should tell you a lot about the talent level of this football team. Now versus the Rams, it's imperative that they work to strike some type of balance in their offensive attack. 11 carries for Steven Jackson won't cut it. And that offensive line definitely has to compete better because their front four is a lot better than what the Saints brought to the table last week. Now defensively, I was actually impressed with the defensive tackle play of Atlanta. They were gap disciplined and they stymied the Saints rushing attack as well. Also impressive was the play of the rookies in the secondary, both Alford and Trufant. So the future is bright definitely for the Atlanta Falcons. Now let's go inside the lab to take a look at some X's and O's for both teams in this matchup.
I'm a big fan of getting your top playmakers in space to make plays, and I think the Rams have a key one in rookie Tavon Austin. I think if they utilize the whip route versus the Atlanta Falcons, they can have some success. Now I'm going to draw up 2 examples of how they can utilize the whip route. This one right here is versus cover 4. So you're going to have everybody's responsible for a quarter of the field. We have underneath coverage. So we see how the Rams love to spread the field. They do a great job. They have receivers at the bottom of the numbers and receivers at the top of the numbers. So it widens out your defense. So I think that's key right here. And in this play, you're going to see the Rams put the running back in motion because they love to spread the field. That's going to walk this back around here. And what these 2 inside guys' job is to do is to create that space. So they're going to run those post corner routes right here. Boom. And what that does, that draws the strong safety over top. That draws the free safety. Everybody has that quarters coverage. You have the cornerback trying to drift underneath this route right here. You also have the cornerback drifting underneath this route, responsible for their quarters coverage. Now we're going to have the outside guy over this way. He's running a curl. Smash concept, sort of, but we have the post corner going this way. Now, this is Tavon Austin. We're going to have him run the whip. His job is to take advantage of the spacing that's made between the sideline, the numbers, and the hash marks. He's sprinting inside, giving the illusion of the quick slant, which puts this guy in the bind. Then he whips right back out. Bradford could deliver the football. Tavon also could turn upfield and make one miss. So that's one example of the whip route. Let me show you another example versus cover 1 robber and how they can get him the football. And this is a dime defense. You see, we have the dime back and we've inverted the nickel with the strong safety. So he's at the top of this bunch set. It's all about getting condensed sets and to get those natural rub and pick routes. And here's Tavon Austin. What we're going to do on this one, first we're going to send this wide receiver out on the backside. He's going straight up to try to pull this cornerback with him and also try to influence that safety to get away from where he's supposed to be. The robber coverage is here. Nickel guy is dropping down. And so what we have, we're going to bring Tavon Austin in motion. And you see where he was located at the bottom of the number. So again, widening out that Falcons defense. Coming in motion. Right here, we're going to snap the ball. Guy at the top is influencing, trying to get that free safety to make a choice. You got a 2-on-1. Go right here for the free safety. He's running a post. Then you're going to have the inside receiver running a post corner, trying to influence, once again, that cornerback, because at the snap of the ball, Tavon Austin's running here and whipping back out. So Sam Bradford can get the football to him here so he can make one miss and get up the field. So again, the Rams have a unique talent in Tavon Austin, a guy that's dangerous with the football in his hands. Try to get him the ball quickly, and I think he could have some success versus the Atlanta Falcons. In order for the Atlanta Falcons to have some success versus the St. Louis Rams, they're going to have to be able to run the football, and that offensive line has to communicate better up front versus this over-aggressive defensive front of the St. Louis Rams. And I've drawn up 3 calls they can make this week to help them have some success: the gas call, the give call, and a wedge call. All 3 calls, in my opinion, all 3 blocking schemes meshes well with the talent at the running back position, and that's key because you want your blocking assignment to mesh well with your running back and what he does well. We know Steven Jackson is a guy that can see the cutback lane. We also know Jacquizz Rodgers can hit it quick in the hole and get out of the hole quickly. So let's first draw up the gas call. That call will be made, and most of the calls will be made by the play side guard. The gas call is telling the backside guard to pull and trap the near backer, which would be the middle linebacker. So we're going to have the backside tackle walk up, climb that second level and get the weak side linebacker. We're going to have the play side tackle go up and get that strong side backer. We're going to have the 3 technique influenced by the play side guard, who's going to set up in a pass set to get this guy coming upfield, thus creating the hole for the backside guard to pull up and trap that middle backer, get him blocked, center blocks down on the 1 technique or the nose, depending on how the Rams set up their front. And this is a play that you want to run that inside dive to, where Matt Ryan will reverse out, hand the ball off to the running back, who will follow the inside hip of his guard going up to get that backer and hopefully run into daylight. You have the tight end kicking out that defensive end. So that's the gas call. Next, we're going to draw up the give call. Let me erase this right here. Now, the give call, once again, made by the play side guard, alerting the backside guard that he's going to influence block the 3 technique, and he's going to come around and trap him. So this will be your quick hitter. This will be a play you will want Jacquizz Rodgers to run. Now the give call, again, play side guard making the call, influencing the 3 technique to come in the hole because he's going to trap block the 3 technique. So we have the play side tackle working up, blocking that middle linebacker. We're going to have the tight end working to kick out that defensive end, influencing him and then getting upfield. We're also going to have the center block down on the tackle, backside tackle climbing up, getting that weak side backer. 3 technique is going to come and kick out the next threat, which will probably be the strong side backer, and the backside guard is kicking out the three technique after he has been influenced by the play side guard. This will be your quick hitter that you will want Jacquizz Rodgers to hit it up in here and run the daylight. Now the last one will be the wedge. The wedge is more catered toward Steven Jackson's style, in my opinion. This is a play or a blocking scheme where all the offensive linemen will take an inside step and block the first threat to their inside. So you have inside step. The center's job is to shade to the guy closest to his that's shaded closer toward him, which would be this technique in the hole. So he's going to step inside to the left, inside threat, and we're going to have this guy work up and kick out that defensive end. Why? This is setting up the cutback lane. So everyone's working up, trying to get to the next level, wedging everything in, and you see what a cutback lane is. We know how Steven Jackson can push a hole and then cut it out make that jump cut. This is tailor-made for his skill set, that wedge blocking scheme. So you can see how the Falcons can get creative in their calls up front to help create more opportunities in the backfield for those outstanding running backs.
Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this matchup. For St. Louis, they have to win the individual battles in the secondary. In subsequent weeks, they faced the Cardinals, and now they're facing the Atlanta Falcons. 2 outstanding receiving corps. They're going to have to win those individual battles back there. And they have to continue to play the numbers game at the line of scrimmage as far as spacing, widen out that defense, count the guys in the box, and that'll let you know whether or not you want to check to a run or a pass. And they want to play the run on the way to the quarterback this week versus Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't run the ball enough, so you can get aggressive in your pressure packages. Now for the Falcons in this ballgame, Dirk Cotter's play calling will be in full effect. Can he get more balance going with that offense? You have 2 outstanding tailbacks in the backfield in Steven Jackson and Jacquizz Rodgers. And you want to keep Julio Jones on the move. Last week, we saw the Arizona Cardinals move Larry Fitzgerald around the formation to find the optimal matchups. The Falcons have the same type of talent in Julio Jones. They can put him on the move and create different mismatches for that Rams defense. Now, the backside defensive end has to play with some discipline this week. You got to make sure you eliminate the ability to cut back. That's how the Rams set up their running game. They want to wash guys down inside and create that natural cutback for Darrell Richardson, who does a great job in seeing the cutback and has the agility to make it happen. You want to make sure that backside defensive end plays with gap discipline and not get washed down inside or fly down, try to crash the running game front side. The X factor for the St. Louis Rams will be quarterback Sam Bradford protecting the football and being able to drive the football downfield. Now, he's going to have to take calculated risks this week as well, because the Falcons secondary is similar to the Arizona Cardinals secondary, where they have guys back there that can make plays on the ball. The X factor for the Falcons will be their offensive line. They need a better output this time around. Last week versus New Orleans, they didn't do a great job up front keeping Matt Ryan well protected or opening up holes in the running game. They have to do a better job this week versus the Rams if they want to be successful. I like the Rams in this ballgame. I think their defense is a tough matchup for the Atlanta Falcons. They can pressure you with their front four. They don't have to blitz. Their linebackers can cover in the underneath coverage, and they can man up out there on the flanks with the wide receivers. So I see this as a game where the Rams defense will step up and slow down what the Falcons bring to the table. And on offense, they'll be able to move the football with their ground game, their cutback running game, as well as the short passes with Tavon Austin and getting those big plays deep down the field. So I see this as a complete team victory for St. Louis. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Ram fan forums and Falcon fan forums for always showing football game plan support.